I was born a dreamer.
We found the holy grail of big waves.
Nazaré,
More challenging than any wave in the world.
This place that they were pioneering sounded like mayhem. Okay, I gotta go to this place. When I saw the wave coming, it was a mountain. I remember hitting it and falling backwards.
How did this find you? How did you find Maya?
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think I was just drawn to this story and I don't know why. And then you kind of discover why later on. I was working as a cinematographer on a documentary about Venus and Serena Williams, and just mostly fascinated with like their early career before they got famous. And I was definitely in the headspace of, women's sports and wanting to explore that more, and thinking about like where the younger athletes before they got famous, like who are they? Where are they? There was a television series that wanted female directors to profile female athletes. And I just started researching, basketball, gymnastics, everything. And I'm a surfer, and I got really curious about big wave surfing, which isn't a very old sport. It's only about 30 years old. And I thought, well, are there any women that do this? It seems like a lot of guys. And I found, Googled my way to Maya. And I was like, wow, she's amazing. She had, 5 titles at the time. And I reached out, and she was just like, yeah, come film me. I'm going on a surf trip to Mexico. And that was in 2012. And I really had no idea where this story was going to go, what was going to happen. And yeah, here we are, many years later.
What was that experience like, kind of seeing the big waves? I don't know how close you have gotten or how immersed you got to be when you first kind of started to get to know Maya.
Well, when I first met Maya, she was surfing Hawaii, and she first went to Nazaré in 2013. And it's a spectacular experience if you ever have the chance to go to Portugal. I mean, the sound of the waves, it's like a bomb, just boom, It's just one of the wonders of the world. And it's incredible that, human beings want to interact with that force. It's a pretty magical experience to get to see those waves in person.
Over the last 10 years, were you sort of very consciously making a documentary, or were you kind of following her life to see if it would end up as a documentary?
Yeah, I'm a documentary filmmaker, so that's, my motivation
Yeah.
for, showing up with my camera. And yeah, it was really just, a leap of faith year after year. I just thought she was fascinating. She had so much grit and determination, and I just felt like it would probably yield a story, but we just didn't know. So I just kept going back, to catch her in those important moments of her life. And of course, the reason you're filming all that footage is to create a documentary. I just didn't know that it was going to end up in this wonderful story.
Yeah, I think I love that best about documentary filmmaking, is that you don't necessarily know what it's going to be. Obviously, you're capturing what you can. Can you talk a little bit about kind of ocean cinematography? Obviously, you are experienced as a cinematographer, and learning little bits of that, or kind of what you enjoyed about that particular challenge.
Yeah, everybody always says, how did you film those waves? And to be very honest, I did not film those waves. I tried. I'm a very do-it-yourself person, and I thought I would be able to shoot the whole film. No. I was like, well, I figured out tennis, how hard can it be? And it's actually extremely difficult. And I got to know, some of the guys who have been filming these waves for decades, there's a super subspecialty of ocean and surf cinematography, and these folks, and some women, that's all they do all day, every day, is filming with drones, long lenses from the land, filming on the back of jet skis, helping to coordinate who filmed her wave, getting the footage. And I'm very lucky because that work is incredible, and I got to, include it in the film. My role was really filming Maya's journey, her personal story, which is what I know how to do as a cinema verite documentarian.
Is there a collaborative environment if there's so many people kind of in the water all trying to get shots in that sense, or?
I mean, it's total mayhem, as you can imagine. You don't know. I mean, it's like everyone's just afraid they're going to miss the wave. I mean, it was like 10 years of like, oh God, I can't miss the wave because this one might be a world record. So everyone's kind of doing their thing. The drone pilot is, flying. The people on the land are filming from the land, and the nuttiest of all are the guys that are filming from the back of a jet ski.
How are you feeling about kind of the impact of showing more female stories and female surfers in particular?
You know, Maya had to establish a world record for women, and that is a huge accomplishment. And, you know, there are now, you know, young women who are coming up who see what she made possible, and, you know, they want to do it. And I think more broadly, the film just appeals to women and girls who just, you know, they get to see that their dreams can become real. And Maya did that for, you know, female surfers, and I think for women in general. So I see, yeah, there's a lot of tough, you know, kind of unfortunate behavior that we're showing in the movie, but I think there's a lot of light as well. And, you know, one of my favorite parts is the fact that, you know, she made the effort to, you know, create this petition. She put herself out there to do a petition, and 20,000 people wrote in to, you know, help change the course of history. I mean, this would not be on the record books. This accomplishment would not be in the history books if people hadn't stood up for her and voted. And you know, it makes a difference because women are so systematically erased from history, erased from the record books, and that would have happened unless, you know, those 20,000 people had stepped up for her.
Was there something that she, like when you were able to show her kind of a finished assembly, was there something she was most surprised by or like most moved by? You know, because I don't know if she kind of forgets that you're making a movie at some point or not, or you know, how she reacted to seeing it from the first time.
Yeah, Maya actually didn't see the movie until we premiered in Toronto, and so I was really, I didn't know what, and she loved the film, thankfully. And there's this scene that people, you know, really respond to, where she's on her bed and she's crying and she's reckoning with all the feelings that happen after she's made this world record. And she said, I don't remember that. You know, I didn't remember you filming me. And yeah, that was, you know, I think that was surprising to her, but, you know, it just kind of shows that we were friends as much as we are, you know, a filmmaker and a subject.
Yeah. Did you? I love the incorporation of her family as well. Because again, it doesn't seem like it's obviously Maya has the drive to do this. You know, the family's sort of like, you know, if we would like it if you aren't risking your life. What's your impression of kind of their family dynamic and how they kind of support each other and all have very different kind of careers and perspectives?
Yeah, I think you know, her mother was very reticent about, you know, having a daughter willing to risk her life to pursue her dreams. And you know, I was really curious, what is it like to be the mother of, you know, someone who has that attitude? And you know, as you can see in the film, her mother comes around, you know, later in her career and just accepts, this is my daughter's dream, and I'm gonna absolutely support her. And then her father is much more of a, you know, renegade spirit, and he had risked his own life to do what he felt was right and important, and always encouraged her to pursue this passion. And it's a pretty incredible family, and I love just how supportive and you know, how much they, you know, backed her up and believed in her.
Were there any particularly shocking days for you? I mean, there's so many surprises in this film as far as overcoming adversity.
Yeah,
It
it's
sets them apart.
definitely it's a different sport. I mean, these Maya and big wave surfers are willing to risk their life to do this. I mean, this is not tennis. This is all, you know, all respect to other sports, but
course.
you know, these are elite athletes, and I think we tried to show it in the film. They are in the water, they're in the gym, they're training, they're incredibly serious about this, and also willing to die to do it, which is, I mean, kind of mind-boggling and the next level. So yeah, there were constant surprises. It's an extreme group of individuals.
Have there been particularly memorable or meaningful reactions for you along the way, just from people that you've talked to after they've seen it, or from audience members?
Yeah, I think mostly women have reacted, and they just feel so seen and heard by this film because so many women have had not this extreme radical experience, but like a similar experience in, you know, some of the challenges of doing whatever they're doing that have been sort of, I don't know, touched by gender bias. And so that's been, you know, I guess, rewarding to help people feel seen and heard.
Have you ever thought about narrative, or do you love documentary?
Oh, I love documentary film because it's an always eternal evolving challenge. And, this film is without a distributor right now. So I'm in the next phase of challenge as a filmmaker, learning how to bring this movie to the world without the support of a, major studio or streamer. And that's what I'm focused on right now.
Right.
And yeah, lots to learn.
Well, happy weekend. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. Tell everyone you know about Maya and the Wave. We need someone to pick it up. Thank you all so much.